know? And they're like, no, that's not going to happen. And I said, well, there is this one guy that applied for a visa to come to the United States. And you guys denied the visa. You told him, no, you cannot come to the United States because you are PNG, persona non grata. I said, I guarantee you, if you call that guy and you tell him that it was a mistake, he'll be here on the next flight. The prosecutor goes.
Because he wanted to come here with his family. He had been asking you to help get him here, right?
Telling me like, man, they denied my visa. Help me out, or I'm gonna kill you.
That's why he knows.
Right.
So I'm like, so the prosecutor goes, let me see if we can do that. And that was the end of that meeting. We never met again. I didn't know what happened. All right. So I go back to my prison. Months go by. And I'm telling my attorney, dude, what the fuck? We had a meeting with these guys. I feel like the girl that you took to prom, you fucked me. No more calls. My prosecutor's like, bro. My attorney's like, listen, if these guys don't leave Venezuela, there's nothing they're going to give you, bro. We need these guys here. All right. Man, one day they take me downstairs to go to medical. And I'm handcuffed, and I'm standing in line, and there is a guard reading names. Smith, Jones, whatever. And she says, this guy last name, the Venezuelan politician. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look around, and I see this guy walks by me. He doesn't recognize me. And I start going like, oh my God. So the guard's like, dude, what's wrong with you? You got to pee? And I'm like, no, I don't got to pee. I got to get the fuck out of here. I got to go upstairs. I go upstairs. I call my attorney. I tell him, do you have any news for me? He goes, no. I said, well, I got news for you. He goes, what? He goes, they arrested this guy. He goes, well, I need you to hang up the phone and call me back in half an hour. I hang up the phone. I call him in half an hour. And he goes, pack your shit. You're going back to Coleman. So I pack my stuff and I meet Matt again. Matt's like, what happened, dude? I said, man.
Oh my.
I talked. And then so I'm telling him this story and the whole thing. And a couple of days later, I'm on the Miami Herald. Boom, front page. And there's this guy saying, they lured me into the United States. They told me I was going to come for tourism. And I had my family with Disney shirts on. So this guy, they call him and they told him, your visa is approved. It was a mistake. He went home. He told his wife and his kids, get dressed. We're going to Disney.
Holy shit.
They fly in, Disney shirts, hats, the whole thing.
Here's the whole shebang.
Get off the
Classic.
plane. You're under arrest.
Classic.
The guy flips, talks a lot. He did 36 months in prison. Smart guy.
And you understand that the money that they were laundering, that they were sending him to buy all the properties, was cartel money from the Sinaloa cartel. They were laundering, the Venezuelan government was laundering drug money through him that, of course, he lost. But regardless, that's all money laundering.
All these things are coming
But he didn't know that.
Right,
Yeah,
obviously.
and that's the problem.
You're buying Levi's and fucking apartment buildings.
Yeah,
Listen, I go to Venezuela one day, and this guy's like, listen, you need a car to drive around? I'm like, well, I'll take one. He goes, yeah, drive this car around. So I'm driving the car around. I'm in Coleman. This Colombian drug lord comes in, and he goes, oh, you are Juan. And I say, yeah. He goes, dude, remember that $1 million that went through your account? He goes, that was my money. I said, oh, shit. I said, yeah, remember when they kidnapped you? That was my money. I said, oh, all right. I mean, listen, bro, no hard feelings, I mean, shit happens. He's like, yeah, shit happens. Don't worry about it. So I'm talking to him, and I said, man, I remember I went to Venezuela, and they gave me this car to drive. He goes, that was my fucking car. And I said, dude, I was driving your car? He goes, yeah.
Wow.
I said, man, that's fucked up. They would have thought that I was him. They could have killed me. So it was reckless. It was a disaster. And then I will tell Matt all the time, like, hey, listen, that's my kidnapper right there. Let me go say hi to him.
Oh,
He hired the guys to hold him until he came up with the money that he couldn't come up with.
Yeah, I was going to come up with that.
That's just stupidity.
It's gone. The money's gone. So I go back to Coleman, and then one day they pack me up and they send me to a penitentiary, USP Thompson, in Thompson, Illinois. I go there. I do 10 months in a pen. Now it's 2018. And my attorney calls me. 6 years later, he goes, the government is ready to give you a sentence reduction.
6 years.
You are coming back to Miami. So I'm like, fuck. I go to my attorney. I say, listen, bro. He's like, we're going to ask for time served. Perfect. I call my kids. Girls, you need to be in the courthouse June 15th. take clothes. I want a fucking Big Mac. I'm walking out. My girls go down there. My friends are down there. I go to the court. Man, there is my attorney. There is the prosecutor from the Venezuelan case who is now retired. There is my prosecutor who hates me because I destroyed the value of his real estate property, and the judge. And the prosecutor gets up and he's like, Your Honor, Mr. Sanchez cooperated and he was a key player for this thing, right? But he's a piece of shit and he shouldn't get anything because we're not going to set an example of people like that. He didn't only scam the government and he didn't only scam a bunch of people, but now we find out that he laundered money and we're going to reward him for this shit? He should have gotten more time. And I'm sitting there going, and he's a womanizer and he fucked every woman that he ever worked with and he will hire these women just to fuck them. And my kids are sitting there like,
oh, Jesus.
And I'm
sitting there going, and my attorney's like, so then this other prosecutor gets up and he's like, listen, I don't know if he fucked women or if he didn't fuck women. All I know is that this guy opened the largest drug investigation in the Western hemisphere with the paperwork that he provided. That's all we know. Whether he fucked women, didn't fuck women, that's beyond or but we do recommend that he gets a reduction. So my attorney got up and spoke, and then the judge looked at me and he said, you know what? You're going to do 2 more years. So my girls broke down crying. I was super pissed, and I ended up going back to Miami. And then from there, they decided to put me in an all-immigrants prison. So I walk in, and it's all Venezuelans and Mexicans and I'm like, holy shit. And I'm calling my kids, and they're like, Dad, are you safe? I'm like, yeah, they don't know who I am. They don't know who I am. So everybody kept asking me, like, why are you here? I'm like, listen, I grew up here. I never lived in Venezuela. I don't know anybody. So I'm hiding the shit until eventually somebody walked in and said, you know who that guy is? That's the guy that opened the investigation of the Venezuelan government. And that's the guy. So all the Venezuelans on the compound get together. And one day I'm walking out of the library doing paperwork because I was doing legal paperwork for everybody.
Oh, you were doing the same. So that's, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Doing a Matt Cox move.
Yeah, that's the hustle, you know.
Yeah.
When you go to prison, you can either suck dick for money, clean rooms for money, and do legal paperwork for money. You know, if I didn't know how to do legal paperwork, I guess I would have cleaned and then sucked dick, but I went for the legal stuff. So, dude, I walked in, I see all the Venezuelans waiting for me, and I'm like, all right, you know, like, I guess we're going to have a little meeting.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're coming to me,
Powwow.
yeah, kumbaya. The guards walk in and they're like, Sanchez, right? Yeah. We packed your shit. You're going to the shoe. I said, why? They said, investigation. And I spent from January to June, 6 months in solitary because of these fuckers. But they had already passed the word out that I was the guy that started the investigation, and somebody Googled me and they found me, and yeah, it became a bit of a disaster.